Okay, welcome back. In this video we're going to be looking at transformations on Argand diagrams, okay? So this is actually one of the biggest topics in complex numbers. It's not the hardest or anything, but they do ask it quite a lot in the exam, so definitely know, you have to know your stuff for this. I'm just going to start with this. Transformations. And these are all on Argand diagrams, okay? So the first one we're going to look at is adding slash subtract, should be a C in there, subtracting C numbers, and that's just complex numbers. I'm not bothered to write it out. Okay, so adding and subtracting complex numbers. So this is the certain type of transformation we're going to be looking at. It's different when you're multiplying and everything like that. Okay. Next we're going to look at, we'll go orange. So when you're adding and subtracting complex numbers, two things happens, okay? So, no, I'm going to actually undo that. So, I'll say two things happen. One, the numbers change, which is kind of obvious. They're the ones that we would have already seen in the other videos, just that the numbers change, yeah? Number two, translation occurs, okay? Translation occurs on diagrams. Hopefully you can read my writing, but just listen anyway. So it's when you add two complex numbers, the numbers change obviously, and also translation occurs in the diagrams. So basically the best way to show this is just with an example. Translation in this case doesn't mean translating something from one language to another. It means moving something from one place to another, and you'll see that a lot in maths. It'll kind of come up, just translating something means moving it. So we'll change color and we'll say, okay, we'll say Z is equal to 2 plus 4i, and our other complex number W, that's another one that they use a lot for complex numbers, is 1 plus I. Okay, two complex numbers, we're going to be adding them and subtracting them. So we will look at, so Z plus W is equal to, it's going to be 2 plus 4i plus 1 plus I, which is going to be equal to 3 plus 5i. Okay, so handy enough. So that's the first thing I was saying, the numbers change. The second thing is that translation occurs on the diagrams. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this diagram. Ooh, that's a nice straight line, where we have our real and our imaginary axis. Okay, and I'll skip to orange for this. So I'm not going to draw it all out, but Z is going to be about here, okay? So about 2 and about 4 upwards. So I'll draw a little thing there. This is Z, and now W is, or sorry, not even W, but Z plus W is going to be about here, okay? And the reason for this is, I'll go back to green, that it goes up 1. So since it's plus 1, going to go up 1 on the real axis, so that's about 1, and then it's going to go up I on the imaginary axis, so about I. So that's the translation. That's what happens when you add plus 1 and plus I. It's going to go up and it's going to go across 1. Does that all make sense? Does it? So that's adding them, and then I'm going to do it over here. Hopefully I'll squeeze it in. We're going to do Z take away W, Z minus W, 2 plus 4I minus 1 minus I is going to be equal to 1 plus 3i. Okay, and same thing. Draw our axes, real and imaginary. And I'll go to, what's a nice color, red. Okay, and Z, this is going to be the same place around here, 2 plus 4i. And now Z minus W is going to be about, oh no, I'm going to change color for that actually. It's going to be about here. For the same reason, because it's going to go down 1 and across 1. Okay, so this is, let me just add this in, Z and Z plus W, sorry, Z minus W. Okay, so does that all make sense? So when you're adding or subtracting complex numbers, you translate it, you move it across the Argand diagram, depending how much you add, how much you subtract. Okay, and that's a simple way of doing it. Just go down the same amount and across the same amount. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Okay, enjoy.